Good morning and welcome once again to the Olympic Swimming Pools Complex here in Funchal in Madeira. We're back again for day 3 of the World Paraswimming European Open Championships 2020. Well, my name's Paul Noble. I'll be taking you through the action today, and I'm joined, as always, by Liz Johnson. Morning, Liz.
Morning, Paul.
Looking forward to another good day of action. We've got quite a busy heat session this morning. It was quite a quiet session yesterday morning, but there's a few heats to look forward to this morning. We kick things off with the men's 100 breaststroke in the SB14 class. Move on to the individual medley events. A couple of fast 50 freestyles, 50 butterflies. Following that, 200 metres individual medley. We always like them. Men's 100 butterfly for the S9 class. See some returning champions from yesterday, and all of the world record breakers that we've seen so far, Liz, taken to the water this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a great start to the meet. We've seen a lot of athletes. Got 150 metre medleys again, and that often brings athletes out into the water, and we will see them in action this morning.
Yeah, we saw some great races last night, some very good tussles for the medals, and the Italian team still looking good, still at the top of the table after day 2.
Yep, the Italians, they are currently, if my tally is correct, on 11 gold medals after 2 days of competition, but I think we've seen them on in that silver and bronze medal position a number of times as well. But they've brought one of the biggest teams to this meet this week, so it is to be expected.
Yeah, they were kind of beating on the gold medal tally yesterday, the Italians. They won 4 golds yesterday. Ukraine won 5, so they closed the gap a little bit at the top of the medal table, but 11 golds for that strong Italian team, and you wouldn't bet against them getting some more today. It's all about qualification this morning. Top 8 swimmers from each of the heats that we'll see will progress to the finals this evening, and yeah, some cracking races that we're looking forward to. We talked about the world record holders. Antonio Fantine broke the record twice yesterday in that 100 freestyle, didn't he?
Yeah, he signalled his intent in the morning, and he was so close to breaking that 1 minute and 4 second barrier, and then he dipped under it by a quarter of a second almost in the evening. So he's on fit form, and he'll be in that 200 metre individual medley later in the programme. He doesn't have an entry time, so he will be in one of those outside lanes. But as we've seen already, people can do amazing things from those outer lanes, so don't discredit anyone just because they are starting from those outside lanes and not in the centre, maybe where we're used to seeing him.
Yeah, we need to keep our wits about us all across the pool, as we've seen before these past couple of days. There's the officials just being introduced to the, I was going to say the crowd, but because of COVID restrictions, of course, no spectators allowed. It'll only be teams that are in the stands and technical officials around the poolside, isn't it? Like big restrictions in place for obvious reasons at this competition.
Yeah, the protocols still get followed, the procedures, so as we see the officials still getting introduced, but as you can see from this shot here, the stands are pretty empty, and the only people in them are actually athletes either competing this morning or support staff that are assisting the athletes competing this morning. Everybody else has to vacate the premises during competition sessions, and if the athletes that are swimming tonight wanted to come in, then they would have to come in to a booked training session between heats and finals, and that's also the same for those athletes not competing today. So you're only allowed in the competition venue during the competition session if you're actually entered to swim during that time.
Yeah, we've seen the kind of evidence of the protocols in place, not least because of the medal ceremonies as well, because the athletes already have their medals on when they come out. They don't get presented. It's a short national anthem, but it still gives the athletes the kind of recognition that they deserve when winning that medal.
Absolutely, I think that's the same as we see the first heat coming out now. Much of it is the same in terms of standing behind the block and racing the length of the pool as quickly as you can, but everything behind the scenes for these athletes has been very, very different. But they're just grateful, I think, to be back racing, having the opportunity to compete on the international stage, and we're obviously grateful to be able to watch them.
Oh, we're going to watch this first heat. There in the centre lane, Conor Morrison from Great Britain. And the lineup, we've got Longaran Carreras from Spain, right up at the top of your screen in lane 0. Bento da Silva Filho, Lavac, Johnson, Morrison, Parmentier, Palazzo, Bruto de Oliveira and Bandeira completes the lineup. It's the European Open, of course. You might be wondering why there are some Brazilians in here. But this is a European Open Championship. Brazilians. So 3 of them in this first heat.
Yeah, and as we've come to expect, Gabriel Bandeira of Brazil in lane 8, closest to us in that. He is putting in some impressive performances from the outside lanes in the heat swim, but Conor Morrison in the black cap of Great Britain in lane 4, he's the silver medalist at the European Championships last time out. He's going well down. He's the fastest this year in this meet that's attending. Nobody ever 0.75. He's been 107.94 this year, so he's so close. Like I said, out of the entrants here this week, Conor Morrison is the quickest, but the Brazilian athletes down closest to us in lane 7 and lane 8 going very, very well here as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a close finish, I think, between Conor Morrison and the 2 Brazilian athletes. Might be Brutos de Oliveira, might just get ahead of Conor Morrison. Conor Morrison in that 3rd position as well. So a good swim there, 107.61 for Brutos de Oliveira. He seems to be pleased with that one. 7.61 inside the America's record time. Not sure that will be ratified, but he's very pleased with that swim. Showing his delight there at the end, Liz. He's delighted with that one.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we've seen Bandeira a number of times, but like I said, sometimes the breaststroke specialists come to the forefront, which is what happened with a number of these athletes. And they couldn't hang about this morning because we've got 2 full heats of this 100 breaststroke in the B14 men's event. So they had to go for it, and we can see the celebrations there. And hopefully Conor Morrison has done enough to get another chance to swim for that qualifying time this evening for the British team. But yeah, just Olivier coming through strongly in that yellow hat there, taking that victory. And he deserves to be all smiles. He didn't have an entry time. So...
yeah, great swim there. 107.61 for the 16-year-old Brazilian. Brutos de Oliveira, Conor Morrison just getting that vital touch for 2nd. That might be good enough to see him into the final with Bandeira in 3rd spot. Parmentier, the only other swimmer under the 110 mark, just ahead of Robert Isaac Johnson. As you said, Liz, a full heat, and they will be out for heat number 2. So that's the target. These swimmers have the advantage now of knowing what their target is for the next heat. I think probably under 110 is going to be the target for these ones. And heat number 2 on the way out again. We have a range of nationalities in this one. 3 Russians taking the start. Latero Daniel Medina Casinos from Argentina goes up there in lane 0. Tobias Klassen from Sweden in 1. 3 Russians. Andrei Shabalin in 2. Mikhail Kuliabin. A couple of medals to his name already this week. He goes in 3. Pavlenko goes in 5. Krajinic splits the Russians in the centre. Krajinic, a medalist from yesterday as well. Kim Yong-bin from Korea in 6. Simon Blaise from France in 7. Javier Labrador Fernandez in lane number 8, right down at the bottom of our screen there.
Yeah, and a really good start there from Mikhail Kulabian of Russia in lane 3. He had the fastest reaction time. We said we can't hang about here. European bronze medalist Krenich, that yellow hat of Ukraine, he has got the fastest time of the athletes in this second heat, which is why he is occupying lane 4. And we can see they're going very well here down this first 50 metres. Eyes will be on the clock, as you said. Some of those athletes from the first heat will have a nervous weight. Kranich, 32.03, only 9/100ths ahead of Kuliabin in the lane one lane up from us. There we can see the two athletes, Kranich in that yellow hat for Ukraine, going very well down this second 50. And here now coming through is Pavlenko. He's also joining the party. These three athletes ahead of the rest of the field as we come into the closing stages of this race.
Yeah, Pavlenko finishing pretty strongly. Not sure he's going to catch Kranich in that yellow cap though. Keep an eye on the clock. 108.69 for Kranich. Take that one just ahead of Pavlenko and Kuliabin. The first three under the 110 mark, but the fourth place swimmer 111.18 for the Korean. So anyone under the 110 mark will qualify comfortably for that final. There's the winner of that heat, 108.69 for Vasil Krajinic, trying to add to the medals that the medal that he won yesterday. Also add to his European bronze that he won last time. Conor Morrison and Vasil Krajinic, silver and bronze medalists last time, behind the European record holder Scott Quinn of Great Britain. But Krajinic led them out, Les, and just about held on to the two Russians just bearing down on him at the end.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that set up a really exciting final for tonight. It's the European Open, so it is possible that the Brazilian athletes and the Korean athlete make it in. So there'll be two sets of medals up for grabs. And there's unfortunately a disqualification there for Sweden's Tobias Klassen in that event. So here is the finalists. Here are the people who advanced to the final, and there we see it. Paul Brutus de Olivier tops the summary ahead of Great Britain's Conor Morrison.
Yeah, so the young Brazilian will progress into the final in first position. I wonder if he can go a little bit faster in that final. Conor Morrison and Vasil Krajinic just separated by 1/100th of a second. Gabriel Bandera, only 50 metres individual medley for the SM4 class. 150 individual medley is an international event kind of specific to para swimming. It's conducted for the classes SM1 to SM4. It's basically 3 strokes instead of the 4, just not having the butterfly at the start. So we'll see the backstroke, breaststroke and freestyle. All eyes on this man in lane number 4, Ami Omer Dadon from Israel. That sensational world record swim yesterday in the 100 freestyle. Absolutely smashed that record, didn't he, Liz?
Yeah, he attacked the first 50 metres and then he came back with such speed. He just got stronger and stronger as the race went on. The first athlete in the S4 category to ever break that 1 minute and 20 second barrier. So we know he's in good form in freestyle. Let's see what he can do here this morning.
So this is the SM4 classification. There's the lineup. Tommy Brajda from Croatia. Andreas Ernhofer, a medalist 2 days ago for Austria, goes in lane 3. Record holder in the 100 freestyle. Experienced Dimitrovina Radets for Ukraine, goes in lane 5. Manuel Martinez goes in lane number 6. Emmanuel Marigliano for Italy, we to take the start down there in lane number 7 again. Our champion Marigliano from 2 days ago.
Well, some interesting starts there, but there we can see in lane 6, Martinez of Spain, using that underwater phase as you are allowed to do on backstroke, but because he doesn't have any use of his legs, he was using his arms to propel him, which is permitted, and it worked because you can travel a lot quicker under the water than you can on top of it. But now that we're up and into our strokes, we can see going very well. In lane 5 is the European record holder, Dmitry Rodets of Ukraine. Again, we talk about it so often in the individual medley races. Different athletes have different strengths on different strokes, and their impairments play out differently. So the race is not over until we hit that final wall. But there we see Rodets turning first, 49.81, with a second or so advantage over Ami Omer Dadon. But Ami Omer Dadon was a European champion in the breaststroke event. So we can see him now starting to overhaul the early leader, Rodets. Also going well, one lane up. In lane 3 is Andreas Ehrnhofer for Austria. It's these three athletes in the picture at the moment, going very well at the midpoint of the race.
Yeah, Ehrnhofer was a bronze medalist in the breaststroke on day 1 here in Funchal, and he's certainly giving Dadon a little bit of a tussle here as they come to the end of the breaststroke. But you would expect Dadon, with that sensational freestyle record yesterday, just to pull away when they get onto that freestyle leg. But Ehrnhofer is going to touch in front here, the Austrian.
Yeah, Ehrnhofer now just coming in to take the lead, take that touch at the final turn, 0.8 seconds ahead of Dadon. 1:58.01 was the time for Ehrnhofer. And again, already we see though, Ami Omer Dadon, now he's on to his favoured freestyle leg and up, and he's starting to pull away. But Ehrnhofer had a brilliant breaststroke leg, and as I said, you have to play to your strengths. Ami Omer Dadon of Israel are looking very strong here in the closing stages of the race.
Yeah, he's into the last 15 now. He is pulling away from Ehrnhofer as we expected he would. It's going to be comfortable qualification for the Israeli. Dadon is going to take this one in that time of 2:44.19. Should be comfortably qualification into the final. We have 7 swimmers in the next heat. So Dadon comfortably in there if that result is confirmed, of course. Ehrnhofer in 3rd spot, 2:55.90. So Dadon following up from his heroics last night. A couple other swimmers coming in now. It's a combined event, this one. So some SM3 swimmers swimming up against the SM4s, and Morigliano is one of those. The Italian down there in lane number 7. He comes in 3:27. Just ahead of Tommy Brajda, 3:35.73. Pretty comfortable, Les, in the end for Dadon.
Yeah, it's always good when you know you've got that freestyle to rely on at the end of the race. But it was exciting how the lead changed a number of times and at every point. So Rodets was in the lead after the backstroke, then Ehrnhofer was in the lead after the breaststroke, and then Ami Omer Dadon obviously in the lead after the freestyle at the conclusion of the race. And the individual medley events, they do provide such excitement, such entertainment, and you really do have to watch them closely. And we're in for an exciting final this evening. Obviously, one more heat to go. That is first heat safely through.
And there we are. Dadon, 2:44.19. Ehrnhofer in 2nd, Rodets in 3rd. An interesting, in the individual medley, a range of impairments in this class as well, as you said, and certain impairments suited to certain strokes as they go through the medley. Makes it very interesting.
Yeah, and we often see a lot more of a variety in terms of the techniques that are used as well. And we talked about the way Martinez used that underwater phase, but also you'll notice on the backstroke, some athletes employ a double arm backstroke technique. Some athletes go for a single arm, and some athletes go for an alternating arm. And you just you work on what works for you to get you down the pool as fast as possible, which sounds obvious, but often you can get stuck in a trap of trying to swim like other people, and then sometimes that can hold you back.
Yeah, all these swimmers, vastly experienced, they'll develop their own techniques throughout the year, and a few swimmers who have racked up a few European Championships, a few World Championships, a few Paralympic Games in this one. There, Efrem Morelli, silver medalist in the breaststroke on day one of competition. Right next to him was Roman Zdanov, who took that breaststroke title, but was shocked yesterday by Dadon. There's Ariel Maryard going lane one for Israel. Ivan Fernandez getting in lane two. Zdanov just popping into the water there in lane four, next to Efrem Morelli. Xavi Torres, the experienced Spanish swimmer, 6 times a Paralympian. His first European Championships back in 1991. Xavi Torres, this was his #1 event. I'm surprised to see Xavi Torres back in the water, Liz. I didn't realise he was making his comeback, but he's posted a very fast time this year already, 2:53.33. He's on his way back, obviously trying to make a 7th Paralympic Games, Torres.
Yeah, and even when he was out of the water, you know, he stayed very fit. He does a lot of triathlons. He uses a lot of science to help with his training. He always has, and it's great to see him back. And I guess that's one of those things. If we were there, maybe we would have spoken to him. If we were in the venue ourselves, we may be able to ask him a few more questions, but we'll just have to sit back and watch. But here we see Roman Zdanov going very well here down this backstroke. Like, he's got such a nice stroke, like it's flat, his head doesn't move, long arm stroke, really making the most. And he turns in 44.40, exactly 3 seconds ahead of Denis Ostapchenko of Ukraine in lane 6, who's an SM3 athlete. As you said, Paul, it's a combined event. Xavi Torres there, that no cap for Torres, the Spanish athlete with a great breaststroke. He always did well in the breaststroke events as well, and he'll have Zdanov in his sights at the moment, but it will be difficult to catch him.
Yeah, Zdanov stretching away. There's Xavi Torres. He's got a little bit of work to do. But Zdanov, the European record holder in this SM4 class. And he's really stretching away from the field. Kind of burst onto the scene right here 5 years ago at the European Championships when it was held last time in Funchal. Came away with a number of medals, 5 gold medals at that point. He's already got 1 to his name, and he's looking good as he heads for home in this SM4 second heat. Still going well is Efrem Morelli. The breaststroke being an important leg for him. He's gone ahead of Xavi Torres, who's now in 3rd, but Zdanov looking very smooth.
Yeah, Zdanov, he has got a great freestyle. Like I said, he had a bit of a shock last night. Emil Medley taking that world record and annihilating the field, but here Zdanov's come back strongly this morning. He's got like I said, he's got beautiful balanced strokes, and he uses that shoulder rotation really well to get hold of as much water as possible. And he'll come in now in a time of 2:30.01. It's a very comfortable heat swim for him this morning. His best's a 2:26.87, so not too far off his best for a heat swim after that 100 freestyle. And here we see Xavi Torres trying to chase down Efrem Morelli, but Efrem Morelli's breaststroke really setting up very well there to come in on 2:49.61. Xavi Torres just behind on 2:50.68 for the experienced Spaniard.
Yeah, it should be enough to take those 3 swimmers into the final. Denis Ostapchenko in 2:58.62, and the 3 swimmers Still to finish now, Ivan Fernandez and Ariel Malyar right at the top there. Lines 2 and 1. And Ioannis Kostakis, the Greek swimmer, down in lane number 7. Again, one of the SM3 swimmers, Kostakis. Again, another man, very experienced campaigner. You remember him winning the Paralympic medal in his home country in Athens in 2004. Still around, still competing well. Got a silver medal the other day in the breaststroke. There's Zdanov. As you said, Liz, not far away from his best time, 2:30.01. Well, it might be in for something special tonight if he can improve on that.
Yeah, he looked controlling again. Like in the final, everybody will be in their time ranked order, so he should have a race on his hands. We saw Vino Radets go out on the backstroke, but in that first heat, but Roman Zdanov's backstroke is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, Zdanov taking that one, 2:30.01. Huge margin of victory there, ahead of Efrem Borelli and Javi Torres. He should be comfortably into the final. Zdanov will be ranked at the top of the finalist list. Ami Omer Dadon in second position, the winner of that first heat. And Efrem Borelli in third. Xavi Torres in fourth position. There's confirmation of those positions. We have 2 Spaniards, 2 Ukrainians, an Austrian, an Italian, an Israeli, and a Russian right at the top. Well, the swimmers coming out now for the women's 150 individual medley. And just one heat of this one. I think we only got to lose one swimmer, Liz. So they're using the outside lane, which they won't use in the final.
Yeah, so in the morning heats, there's the potential to use all 10 lanes, 0 through 9. But as for the finals, it would only be lanes 1 to 8. So there's only 8 slots up for grabs in the final. I mean, this heat is not so relevant, but in races where there are more than one heat, it's the 8 fastest athletes that progress to those final positions. It doesn't matter where you finish in your respective heat. It's always ranked on time, which is different to other sports.
Yeah, well, one swimmer to lose again. It's a combined event. So we have got one SM3 swimmer in this one. That's Veronika Gurenko, who's taking the start over there in lane 0. It's Dominika Mitsova from the Czech Republic in lane number 1. There's Gurenko, only SM3 swimmer. Dominika Mitsova goes in 1. Julia Safonova in 2. Gina Butcher back in the water again in 3. The centre lane is Natalia Budkova from Russia. Marina Berbova, winner of the breaststroke on day 1. Watch out for her on the breaststroke section of this medley. Natalia Gavrilyuk from Russia in 6. Zofina Gabadulina in 7 from Kazakhstan. And Marta Fernandez Infante down there in lane number 8. As you said, Liz, some of these swimmers without entry times are placed in the outside lanes, but Marta Fernandez Infante has been impressive so far this first 2 days of competition.
Yeah, we've seen some great swimming from her. She swam well in the breaststroke, well in the relay, so all eyes will be on the outside lane. I think we've got to keep vision across the pool here, because people can surprise you in these morning heats, especially when they don't have an entry time.
We haven't seen her swim backstroke, Infante, so about to have our first sight of that. Then that was pretty even over the pool here, but Budkova there, as you mentioned, Liz, employing that double arm backstroke. In fact, Verbova actually with the red cap.
That red hat, that red hat of Marina Verbova. She is going strongly down this first 50 metres. And again, we've said about the individual medley, athletes having to use the strokes that they know that they're good. Verbova has got a very good backstroke. She's obviously got a very good breaststroke too. So she's going to look to build that front of the race. Going very well. A double arm backstroke. It allows you to generate more power with each stroke, and then there's not such a delay in your stroke when you're swimming. And we can see there 54.39 for her Butkova, turning second, just 2.34 seconds behind, and Gina Butcher, who again we know is in very good form, turning in third position at the moment, the German athlete. Gina Butcher actually broke the 200 metre individual medley world record in April. See, that is not a Paralympic event in this classification. It is the 150 metres that would be seen in the Paralympic programme. But it's always great to do some over-distance training and racing just to build up that strength and endurance, especially in a period of your training cycle through the winter. So Verbova here going very well in that red hat. She's managing to hold on to that lead that she established down the backstroke leg. In fact, she even maybe looks like she is moving away from the rest of the field. Butkova going very well. We can't see that outside lane. I'm not sure. Fernandez Infante does have a good breaststroke, so she'll be looking to come back off of her backstroke leg. But it is all about Marina Verbova at the moment as she turns in 207.51 to head onto that final freestyle leg.
Yeah, I just wonder if Butkova's got anything left in the tank. She has a very strong freestyle, Butkova. She was the anchor swimmer for the Russian relay team yesterday, and they won that silver medal just behind the Italians. She was up against Ariel and Trimmy on that occasion and almost held on against the big Italian freestyler. But she's going past Verbova now. So it looks like Butkova might just take the top spot in this one. Gina Butcher still going well in third place for Germany. Gavrilyuk actually went into third place at that last turn, but she used her breaststroke to her advantage. But Gina Butcher, the stronger freestyler, everything getting a little bit spread out now. But Butkova is going to come in, and she's going to come in around about 3 minutes. Well, 3:07.81 for Butkova. Verbova in second place, a couple of seconds behind, and in third place is Gina Butcher. So everything got a little bit extended there as the race progressed, Liz. Marta Fernandez is coming in now, 3:26.05 in fifth position behind Gavrilyuk. So they should qualify comfortably for the final. As we said, just had to lose one swimmer. There's still 2 or 3 swimmers left in the water. So these swimmers that have finished comfortably into that final.
Yeah, and again, sometimes in the heat, athletes don't need to do too much if they know that they're in those centre lanes and they've got the advantage. So we could be in for an exciting race this evening. We can just see there at the top of the pool that single arm freestyle of Veronika Kurenko, the SM3 athlete from Israel. She's the lowest classified swimmer in this race, going very well to come into that final 5 metres. She didn't have an entry time, so she'll be looking to post that, put herself on the world rankings for her first outing of the year. That time for her is a 4:30.35, and there we can see now, just coming in, is the Czech Republic's Dominika Mikova. Good breaststroke swimmer, coming in now. Final few metres for her.
Yeah, Mikova finishes just under the 5-minute mark for Mikova. A good swim at the front of the field. Good contest between Verbova and Butkova. and Gina Butcher. As you said, Liz, we might see some faster times tonight. The swimmers knew it was going to be comfortable qualification for them in those centre lanes. So we might see a good contest later in this SM4. Verbova with that. You said the Ukrainians kind of switch about, trying to fool us, I think, but Verbova sticks to that red cap, doesn't she?
Yes, she does, and she's going to have to really work that first part of the race tonight, those first two legs that play to her strength, because as we saw, she had herself quite an advantage, but Natalia Budkova of Russia, very, very strong on that freestyle, and it is always easier to be the person chasing than the person being chased.
And there's confirmation of the result. Budkova takes it in 3:07.81. Marina Verbova in second position and Gina Butcher in third. The top 8 from that heat will qualify for the final this evening. There's confirmation of those finalists. Budkova and Verbova will be in the centre lane. So we stay at the top end of the pool, Liz, but it's one length now. It's 50 freestyle. This is going to be very fast indeed. It's for the S12 class, swimmers with a visual impairment. And the world record holder, Maxim Varaksa, due to take the start here in lane number 4. Maxim Varaksa, he's often billed, Liz, as the fastest Paralympian in water. 22:99 is that world record time. Incredibly fast.
It is fast, and it's also from 2009, so let's see what these athletes can do this morning. This won't take long.
Well, there's Varaksa in the centre, Isatau and Salai on either side of him. Varaksa had a long unbeaten run in the 50 freestyle. He was beaten in the Europeans in 2018. He was disqualified in 2019. Be looking to try and get back on winning ways, but Salai's given him a very good battle indeed, but Varaksa just gets it. 24.23 for the Ukrainian. Not sure he got the best finish there, Liz, but Raman Salai gave him a race. Really good swim from the Azerbaijani Raman Salai.
Yeah, fantastic. And everybody comes into this event knowing that man there in your screen, Maxim Varaksa, he is the one to beat. He's such a specialist over the sprint freestyle events, and he's had such a hold up until recent years on the top of the world rankings, on the major championship results here. And again, he just comes in, he's very businesslike when he turns up. You have to be on a 50-metre freestyle because there's just no room for error. And he went well this morning, quite comfortable, if you can say that 24 point is comfortable, but very comfortable for him. Raman Salai going very well as well. Another heat to come, of course.
Yeah, Maxim Varaksa 24.23, just 0.1 in it at the end, with Raman Salai trying to add another medal to the tally that he's won so far. And in the second heat, well, we have another 5 swimmers here. Dmitry Salai, brother of Raman, will go in lane number 5. But I can't see lane number 5 there. We'll just see who takes the start for this one. To line up, Isaquero Rojas from Cuba, Alexei Fedina from Ukraine, Ilya Raryamenko from Ukraine, Dmitry Salai due to take the start there in lane number 5, and Quentin Vieira in lane number 7. Yaremenko is the world champion from Ukraine. Took that one in 2019. I think it looks like we only do have 4, Liz, I think. Can't see Dmitry Salai.
Yeah, no, I don't think Dmitry Salai is there, and I also Not sure. We need a bit of a. We need to see the whole pool, don't we? Well, it just adds to the tension.
Tall figure of Alexei Fedina in lane number 3. He's been very successful over the years in breaststroke events, especially. Yarmenko in the centre there, in the centre of the 2 yellow lanes. But Yarmenko and Fedina, it's going to be very, very close here as they come into the closing stages. And it looks like Yarmenko will just get that one, 23.94. Salai there. Salai going in lane number 5. We got all confused. 24.18.
It was Izquierdas Rojas that didn't turn up at the start, so that's where you were right. See, right number of swimmers, just
the
wrong lane orientation.
Yeah, that's why we need to see the whole pool. That's what it was. Yarmenko will take that one, though, 23.94. Again, he's a very decent time. That'll make him faster than Varaxa. Just in the middle of those 2, just getting the edge over Dimitri Salai and Alexei Fedina. And there we are, Yarmenko, Salai and Fedina. We're on the right track now, Liz.
We are, we set that up for an exciting race tonight. Look at that ball.
Yeah, very close. And the 2 Salai brothers shared the bronze medal position in the World Championships in London. We saw them gold and silver in the fly yesterday, and they'll be looking for another head-to-head. So another 50-metre event. Nice heat. It's the men's 50 butterfly for the S5 class. Again, we see quite often, Liz, in the S5 and S6 classes, especially, there's a range of impairments, isn't there? People have a range of starts.
Yeah, and
it's fascinating.
And it makes for a fascinating race too, because you'll see those athletes with those strong starts, with powerful legs getting off, and then they'll be chased down the pool.
Indeed, there is Daliev of Kazakhstan. There's Anthony Pons-Bertrand, a couple of medals that he's got his name so far this week. He goes in lane number 5. Daliev, well, he's got the fastest qualification time in this heat, 35.37. There's Antonio Sapatakis. Took that breaststroke final out really fast the other day. He was just caught at the end. Mats Topkin in lane 2 for Estonia. Dmitry Chernayev will go from the water, as will Pons-Bertrand, so expect those 2 to be behind in the early stages. The others going for...
See that in lane 4, using 15 meters. Like 1 lane closer to us, Pons-Bertrand now will start to come through in the closing stages, and also going well is Artur Kuvasov in that blue hat for Russia. There we can see from that angle, Daliev still just in the lead at the moment, but Pons-Bertrand breathing towards him as they come into the final stages.
And Daliev will touch these ahead, and he gets ahead of Pons-Bertrand by 0.36 of a second. Kuvasov in 3rd place, so Daliev be pleased with that heat swim. Swimmers with no arms, Liz, and they've
going into the wall, so they do have to go into it at full speed, but they develop a technique, again, is well practiced. Well, they train hard for that, and that is that you want to touch the wall with your furthest part ahead of you, of your body, and for those athletes with no arms, that does end up being their forehead. And there you can see just I was going to say just the technique they used, but there is a softer spot on the time pad in the middle where the black T is. The centre of that T is the softest spot of the time pad, so I would aim for that if it was me.
Well, in front of Anthony Pons-Bertrand, who had the long in the backstroke for the women. Liz, what a finish, wasn't it? Monica Borgioni with the long arms just beat the two Turkish swimmers who had to touch with their head.
Yeah, and that's where we see again the classification system really playing out exactly what it's about. It takes into consideration the whole event programme, everybody's impairments, and ensuring that it's fair across the entirety of the race, not just taking a snippet of the race. And Daliev there with his fastest time of the year to put down a good victory in that first heat, because he knows that there is some firepower coming in this second heat.
Yeah, it certainly is. We see Mashar Halabi of Israel there in lane number 1. Koral Kutlu from Turkey, the 15-year-old, he goes in lane number 2. Patala Eroglu, Turkish world champion back in 2017. Semenenko goes in lane number 4, the European champion from 2018. Igor Plotnikov, experienced man from Russia, in 5. Kabishev from Ukraine in 6. And Ivo Rocha from Portugal, the host nation, in 7.
Yeah, and that red hat there of Yaroslav Semenenko for the Ukraine. He gets such a good start. He's really worked hard on that technique and he gets his advantage. But Igor Plotnikov of Russia has a really quick swim speed, and we can see him here coming back. Semenenkov breathing to the left, so not seeing Plotnikov at this stage, but Semenenkov gets such a start, and that really sets him up for the entirety of the race.
Well, Plotnikov is just bearing down on Semenenko, but Semenenko will get it. And Kabishev was finishing strongly as well. One lane down with them. I just thought for 1 minute, Liz, that Plotnikov was going to overtake Semenenko. Maybe it was the camera angle, but it was certainly closing. Great start from Semenenko, as you said. Plotnikov bearing down on him as that race went on. And how many times do you think these guys would breathe over that 50 butterfly? Saw Plotnikov take 2 or 3 breaths there towards the end.
And again, it's different for different people, because in this classification and with their impairment, they're only using their legs. They have to abandon the textbook plan of breathing as a minimum on a 50 meters, because those big leg muscles, they need the oxygen. And again, it was a heat swim, so we did see Semenenko breathe a number of times to the side, but Plotnikov was breathing forward. But I think tonight we will see that breathing reduced, because it does.
Yeah, it was Semenenko. And Kabishev 38. So put that together with that first heat. We saw Daliev take that one in 37.45, so it's going to be a cracking final, I think, Liz. Just 3 swimmers separated by around about a second. They're all similar impairments. It's all going to come down to who can produce the goods in the final.
Yeah, and then you'll have those athletes with the strong arms but the lower leg impairments just chasing them down the 50 meters and hoping that they don't run out of pull. It could be a really exciting final. I wouldn't even say 5 meters. It's often final like 50 centimeters when you come into the race, especially in that 50 fly. But Semenenko is the man to beat.
Yeah, Semenenko, Plotnikov, Daliev, the swimmers with no arms there in 1, 2 and 3. Pons-Bertrand and Kabishev Swimmers with the lower limb impairments, they are in 4 and 5. Look at that. Not much separating the top 5 swimmers. Could be a cracking final. Yeah, another one to tee up for us tonight, Liz. We've had some good races so far, haven't we?
Yeah, and the close ones are really entertaining. Like, we've been really fortunate with the racing that's been on display here so far this week.
Yeah, move to the other end of the pool. We're in with the 100 breaststroke now. 4 women. And again, how much have we got here? 1 heat, I think. And just 1 swimmer to lose to progress to that final. Again, we're seeing some youngsters come through at these championships. There's the lineup. Agnes Kramer, a good swim yesterday. My medal in the 400 freestyle. Nadine Luthith from Switzerland. Mira Jeannie Max, 17-year-old from Germany. Milana Shekalova from Russia, the 16-year-old. She goes in lane number 3. Maria Pavlova, well, she'll be the favourite for this one in the centre lane. Bandula Duskova from the Czech Republic in 5. Amelie Winter, who dominated the European scene in 400 freestyle for a number of years. She goes in 6 for Denmark. Katarina Rosler from Germany in 7. Mari Mäkinen from Finland down in lane number 8.
Yeah, we only need to lose 1 athlete from this heat this morning to progress for the 8 athletes into the final. But as you said, Paul, it really is Maria Pavlova who is looked to be the class of the field. On paper, she's the World Championship bronze medalist. And there's a real opportunity here, though, for some of the youngsters to really step up in this SB7. Mira Jan-Mak for Germany in lane 2. I have to count my lanes then, sorry. In that black hat for Germany. She is keeping Pavlova company down that first 50 metres. 49.86. Taking it out, the Russian in lane 4, but 49.98 for the German athlete. And then it's Duskova of Czech Republic, currently in 3rd position, 51.54. But very strong first 50 metres there from the 17-year-old German athlete. But now it is, as expected, Maria Pavlova who's starting to pull away from the field.
Yeah, she is indeed. For Pavlova, as we expected, she had by far the fastest entry time, and she's living up to that favourites billing. Duskova just coming through into 2nd position. Keep an eye on the clock here, 1:40 for Maria Pavlova, and in 2nd position it looks like Duskova is going to take that one. 3rd place is Shekalova, and 4th place Mira Jeannie Mack from Germany. But Mack started off with intent there, the German. Couldn't quite hold the pace on that 2nd 50. Maria Pavlova just timed it pretty well there. And she is, well, an experienced campaigner. She won the bronze medal at the World Championships, and she's also been a medalist at the Europeans as well, back here in 2016. So Maria Pavlova be very much the favourite for this one in the final, Liz.
Absolutely, it's hers to lose. But it was a really, really quick start from Mack, the German athlete, down that first 50 metres. But then Duskova coming through very strongly. This is one of those events that is dominated on a global stage by athletes outside of Europe. It's very close at the top of the world rankings. Less than half a second separating the top 3 athletes. New Zealand's Nikita Howarth, America's Jessica Long, and Tiffany Thomas-Kane of Australia will be looking to get down under that 140 mark in the final, but she looked very, very comfortable this morning. And as you said, Paul, an experienced athlete So she will have come in with a race plan for that heat, and it will have been to progress to the final.
And she has done that ahead of Duskova and Shekalova and Miragini Mack. Well, 150.16 for the German. And might be a chance of a challenge for the bronze medal position or the silver medal position there. It's all up for grabs. Pavlova looks like she is far and away the favourite for this one, but really from positions 2 to 5, it's all to play for the minor medals, you would say. And you never know what might happen in a final.
No, and it's exciting when you're young as well. That gives you that impetus, and it really can be. The Europeans can often be a catalyst then and a platform that you build on for the rest of your career. But similarly, as we've seen in other events, that actually the European field is stacked, and there's global domination within them. So it just depends really on the event, on the class. Back in the water. So he'll be the SM5 athlete swimming up in the SM6 200 metre individual medley that we are about to see.
Yeah, busy programme for him this morning. 2 races in the space of about 15-20 minutes probably for Antonio Pons-Bertrand, just out of the water and back in again in the individual medley. Individual medley. Pons-Bertrand in lane number 4. Alongside him, Panagiotis Christakis and Yuri Mustafa Sar from Turkey. He goes in lane number 7.
Well, getting off to a really good start there. It was Christakis of Greece. That white hat in lane 5, just leading Pons-Bertrand. That butterfly stroke, neck and neck there with Yuri Luchin as we come down this first 50 metre. But the fly leg will be taken out by the Greek athlete in 37.73. Antonio Pons-Bertrand just 0.9 behind, and then only 1.12 seconds behind him it is Luchin. So already at the front of the field, the backstroke onto the backstroke, all in a line here as they come down this backstroke leg. Going very well. Leo McRae, Switzerland, turned 4th in 41.81. He had a brilliant heat swim in his 100 freestyle yesterday, but now we see Pons-Bertrand, who won this title swimming as an SM5 in the SM6 category back in Dublin at the European Championships. And here we can see he's pulling away. He's got a commanding lead now down this backstroke leg.
Yeah, looking really good there at halfway point. He's a strong breaststroker, Igor Luchin as well. Might just pull up on the breaststroke leg. The Greek Christakis, very strong freestyler, so watch out for him in the freestyle. But again, you like to see the lead changing over as they go through the strokes. But Pons-Bertrand looking very good. Yuri Luchin. It's very close for second. First one, Liz.
Yeah, and he needs to. You can't hang around too much. There's another heat to come, and there's a lot of athletes, so it's a case of the time will be important, not only in terms of making it through to the final, but getting yourself a good lane in that final, so you're in the thick of it when it's raced. And Pons-Bertrand making sure that he does that. He secures himself quite a quick time this morning. When you're in the first heat, you don't get the luxury of knowing what the other athletes have done already, so you can't take too much chance. And here we see Pons-Bertrand is leaving nothing to chance as he comes down comfortably now on this freestyle leg to finish up. We see those markers there, 15 metres to go as he comes to that red marker. The flag's obviously signifying 5 metres to go, so he enters that red zone, and he'll come in to touch at a time of 2 minutes and 50.04. Little battle going on behind him. And there we see it is Christakis just getting the better of that. in the end, pulling away to get second place touch, and Luchin third for Russia. Now, this time will be important for Leo McRae. He will want to 3:13.12. It's Leo McRae's time there to get that fourth place touch, and as I said, that could be important. Waiting to see if the second heat go and to see if he has done enough to get a place into that final this evening.
Yeah, great time for Ponce Bertrand there. He's the world record holder in the SM5 class. And that time at 2:48.02, so he's only a couple of seconds outside that. Just thought for a minute there that he was going to challenge that world record. But watch out for that tonight, because he will progress to the final. There's Sapatakis coming in now in 3:46, but Anthony Ponce Bertrand would be very happy with that one.
Yeah, he looks so comfortable too. I mean, he's just swum the 50-meter butterfly. He's just come back, and again just flirted medley to his world record time. I mean, you've only got to drop. The great thing about a 200-meter medley is you can just take a little bit off each stroke, and all of a sudden you go considerably quicker. So he's only got to knock off half a second, really, of each of those lengths, and then he'll be right on that world record. I wouldn't bet against seeing another world record tonight, Paul.
Yeah, he looked really comfortable as well, going down that freestyle. Just eased up a bit at the end, I think, so he's got a lot more to give. Anthony Ponce Bertrand. Do have a disqualification, unfortunately. Mustafa Sar from Turkey was disqualified, but there is the result of that heat one. Ponce Bertrand, Christakis, Luchin and McRae, they are the top four. We'll keep an eye on this second heat, see who progresses to the final this evening. And the second heat, I think we've got 8 swimmers in this second heat, Liz, and well, normally when we get these heats, all eyes are on the centre lanes, but we're going to keep an eye on the outside lane this time, because Antonio Fantine from Italy, a double world record breaker yesterday, well, he is going to go in lane number 8. No time posted for Antonio Fantine.
Well, we've seen some impressive performances from athletes who have entered without entry times and swum in the outside lanes. We've seen medals being won from the outside lanes as well. So yeah, Antonio Fantine, we know he's got a great freestyle. He's got a bronze medal in the backstroke. He's got a very good fly. So for him, I think the telling leg will be that breaststroke leg. But we will be keeping an eye on him. But there's also some fast swimming potentially possible from those centre lanes as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Chapadi, Rojas Cabrera, Sanchez Sierra, Granichka, Ivan Cherniev, Svenetsek and Fantine. That is the lineup for this one. Andrei Granichka, a world champion from Russia, was in lane number 4. We'll see how he goes in his early stages. Ben Sivan from Hungary, right next to him, and a good start for David Sanchez Sierra from Spain, getting away well. The 2 Spanish swimmers going well in the early stages.
Yeah, they're really using this butterfly leg to get ahead of the field. As we've said, people chase down, and you can see already the momentum that Andrei Granichka, the Russian athlete in lane 4, has brought through. But the 2 Spanish athletes making the most of that dive start that they had. Of a second from Granichka, who finished that fly leg very quickly, and 1/100 of a second, nothing in it. But now again, Sanchez Sierra using his turn, using the leg power that he has to propel him forward, and you can see he's got that undulation to get the momentum. But it is now Granichka who's coming back up on him and taking the lead on this backstroke leg. Ben Sivan going very well for Hungary as well, silver medalist at the European Championships in Dublin. He's now consolidated that 3rd place, but as expected, Antonio Fantine down at the bottom of your picture, also having a good swim this morning. But it's Granichka who leads at the halfway point, 1:19.31.
Yeah, and he's a very strong breaststroker as well, world champion in breaststroke as well as this event, the individual medley. Quite often the breaststroke is very telling leg in the individual medley, and he is pulling away from David Sanchez Sierra. Very powerful swim from Graniczka. Bensivan coming back strongly in that centre lane as well. He might just overtake Sanchez Sierra as well. And Antonio Fanti maybe in fourth position right out there in lane number 8. It's going to be very interesting, the shake-up, to see who makes this final. But going in to the final 50 metres is going to be Andrei Graniczka from Russia, who will have an advantage over Bensivan by something like 4 seconds, 3.5 seconds, the gap between those two.
Yeah, and Graniczka there turning about just fractionally quicker than Pons Petran was at the same point in the first heat. So there's no doubt here about who's going to win this second heat. Graniczka is going to take it out. But Bensivan going very well for Hungary. He had a great breaststroke leg there to consolidate that second position at this stage. Sanchez Sierra isn't going to give up without a fight, though. You can see him coming back, but it is Graniczka who comes into the wall 2:47.22. So a great swim for him this morning to post the fastest qualifying time for the finals this evening.
Yeah, and that's top of the world rankings as well this year for Andrei Graniczka, the world champion. 2:47.22. Bensivan in second. Sanchez Sierra in third, 2:59. So Antonio Fantin getting in 3:09.31, and the fifth place finisher looks like Adam Zabadi from Hungary in 3:15.18. So I'm not sure that's going to be enough for the Hungarian to make that. So it looks like, Liz, might be 4 from the first heat and 4 from the second into that final.
Yeah, great swims there, and again, such exciting races, and people posting fast times this morning. If Pons Petran will be happy to be, if those results are confirmed, next to Andrei Graniczka in that final this evening, because again, it is a combined event, but both world records can be broken in the classification group. So the SM6 world record stands 2:38.47 to Great Britain's Sasha Kindred from his victory in Rio back in 2016 at the Paralympic Games. And as we said, in the SM5 category, it is Anthony Pons Petran who set his world record just in December of last year. So 2 world records up for grabs in this one, Paul. 1 set of medals, of course, but the records still relate to both classification groups.
I've got confirmation of that second heat there. Andrei Graniczka taking that one, 2:47.22, ahead of Bensivan, David Sanchez Sierra, Antonio Fantin. I think those 4 should progress to the final. I'll get confirmation just now. Yeah, Graniczka will be at the top, right next to Anthony Pons Petran. Bensivan in with a chance of another medal. Sanchez Sierra, Christakis, Luchin, Fantin, and Leo McCree will contest that final tonight. Graniczka looked really strong, didn't he? All the way through that medley.
Really comfortable too, and I think that freestyle he's got a long stroke, and that's where the difference was in the end from the first heat to the second heat. But we saw the lead change a number of times, so there's so much excitement in store in that event in the final this evening.
Women's 200 metres individual medley now in the SM6 class. Again, we only have 1 heat, 10 swimmers due to take the start. And there is the lineup: Tsakonis, Boggioni, Zavali, Turner, Mareshko, Schott, Rung, Ilis, Chavel, and Sarash. So again, it's a combined event. Monica Boggioni, Natalie Chavel swimming up a class. So the SM5 swimming up against the SM6s. There's Verena Schott from Germany. She will go in lane 5 next to Jelizaveta Mareshko of Ukraine. It's an event you know well, Liz. You used to swim this back in the day.
Once upon a time. Not this fast, I didn't.
I see all of my events and think that.
It's true, but this SM6 200 metres range medley, it is a stacked event globally. But Mereshko, Verena Schott, two brilliant athletes with medal-winning pedigree at major championships in this event. So it is an exciting time, but going well. In lane 3, it's Nicole Turner, Ireland's butterfly specialist. She'll be looking to take Ireland's first medal here at these championships if she can progress to tonight's final. Looking very strong down this first 50 metres.
Pick up a medal at these championships and also building towards Tokyo in a few months' time. Butterfly, very much the specialist of Nicole Turner, specialist stroke. She was second in this event behind Mereshko back in the Dublin European Championships. One of the handful of Irish athletes who managed to pick up a medal. So Nicole Turner is in second place now as Mereshko comes through. Very strong backstroke from Mereshko here, taking her into the lead.
Yeah, Mereshko's got a very strong breaststroke as well, as does Verena Schott. We saw Verena Schott do a brilliant backstroke personal best time on the first night of competition, so we know that she's in good form as well. Nicole Turner gave herself a great opportunity in that butterfly race, and butterfly leg, sorry. But now we see Mereshko with that breaststroke where she doesn't breathe every stroke. She tries to minimize the resistance that her body causes when she breathes, because she doesn't have any power coming from her legs. So it's all done by the upper body strength, as is Verena Schott's. You can see they've got slightly different techniques. That wide pull for Verena Schott, very strong arms. And here comes Nicole Turner. That's a great head-on shot of the three athletes who are out in the lead at this stage. Don't need to go all out, of course, to make it through to the finals this evening. They will just do enough to get a solid swim in this morning and start to feel good, to give them the best chance to be prepared to go as fast as they can this evening. But Mereshko turning 2:21.10, very tight here. Verena Schott just getting in at that last turn ahead of Nicole Turner, and now it's onto the freestyle and head for home. But Mereshko here out in front, and she is the dominant force in this heat this morning.
Yeah, she absolutely is. She has won the European title before here in Funchal, and it was a very swift first 100 for Mereshko. She's just kind of easing in to the finish now, still looking absolutely supreme in that freestyle stroke. Her head dead level as she comes in, high elbows, and that is a decent time for her. The clock hasn't registered, it's somewhere around about 3:03, I think. Yeah, 3:03.67, there we are, for Yelizaveta Mereshko. And Verena Schott in 3:10.11, Nicole Turner 3:11.78. A comfortable swim there from Verena Schott, 3:10.11, but a very good time for Mereshko, 3:03.67, Liz. That is swift.
Yeah, it's not hanging around, is it? And Mereshko has the fastest time in the world this year. It's 3:09 to Great Britain's world record holder, Maisie Summers-Newton. But Mereshko hadn't actually swum in any competition to register a time at the world rankings for this year. But there we go, 3:03. She jumped straight into fourth position in this year's world rankings with that heat swim. And as you said, Paul, she looked very, very comfortable. So I wouldn't be surprised if she looks to build on that and move up further in those rankings this evening.
She was well inside world record pace at the halfway, but I suppose it's very difficult to tell, especially in this SM6 class. The strength of the swimmers on the different strokes kind of makes looking at the splits for the world record, very difficult.
Yeah, and as we confirm those results, there Mereshko being confirmed at the top 3:03.67. You said, Paul, it's true. you can't really read too much into the splits, especially as Maisie Summers-Newton is a brilliant 100-metre breaststroke swimmer as well, and she's an SB6, whereas Mereshko drops down to that SB5. So the splits don't mean too much, but that time impressive for Mereshko to top those rankings to advance to the final.
So Mereshko, 3:03.67, excellent time for Raina Schott and Nicole Turner. They'll have their eyes on medals as well. Sarah Louise Rung from Norway in 4th position as they progress to that final. Back to the 100 metres events. See that? Do wish we were there, Liz.
Yeah, it doesn't look like that out of my window, I can tell you. There's not even any blue sky in sunny South Wales.
Oh, it's not bad here again. I think I'm getting the best of the weather between the two of us this week.
It sounds like it, but I bet it's cold up in Scotland. Is it not cold? You wouldn't know, you haven't been out.
No, I've not been out this morning yet. That's a lunchtime thing for me.
Fair enough.
100 butterfly, S9. Their first appearance of the week for Simone Barlam, the world champion. Shared that top spot at the World Championships in 2019 with his teammate Federico Morlacchi. An incredible race back in London, wasn't it, Liz?
It wasn't. It couldn't have been a more poetic result, I don't think. The jubilation on their faces, and it spread around the entire venue.
Simone Barlam has dominated the freestyle events in the S9 class over the last couple of years. He kind of burst onto the scene at the World Championships in Mexico in 2017. Like Barlam now, world champion in the butterfly, been looking to follow that up with a European Championship gold, I'm sure, and he's looking pretty smooth in the early stages. Jose Antonio Maria Alcaraz next to him. Also going well is the Belarusian swimmer Shalkanov down in lane number 7, who had a good swim yesterday, Liz.
Yeah, and we see Simone Barlam just getting that touch with those long arms at the 50 metres, 0.2 of a second. But Shalkanov had a brilliant 200-metre individual medley swim, and he was right in the mix for the medals until the closing stages. And we can see here he's continued that form this morning. He's got a really strong butterfly. That was what set him up in that individual medley. And it looks like he's going to bring it in. At the moment, we know Simone Barlam's got a strong finish. Jose Maria Alcaraz finishing him well as well. So those three athletes will take those top 3 spots. And it does go to Barlam in 60.63. Then Jose Maria Alcaraz, his first outing for Spain at the Championships, 101.32. And is Shalkanov of Belarus, 101.73. But Simone Barlam there coming through with that long arm span at the end to just get the touch. But Jose Maria Alcaraz of Spain will be happy with his heat swim too.
Yeah, good time as well. Simone Barlam, 1:63. World title was only won in 1:03. So only 0.27 outside that time that won the world title. So good heat swim for Simone Barlam. Jose Maria Alcaraz.
I was going to say, Paul, we'd expect Simone Barlam is one of those athletes who's in that stage of his career where the more training he can do, the faster he's going to get, and actually train in other ways. I think Simone Barlam, one of those who he's going to go from strength to strength, and I'd be surprised not to see him do best times here now that he's back in international waters.
Yeah, well, certainly his best time of the year, 1:63, half a second faster than he went last month. Jose Antonio Maria Alcaraz in second place, 1:01.32. Yar Shalkanov, 1:01.73. Igor Grigorovic from Poland in fourth place, 1:02.37. Second heat to come. Just wonder. Had some big names in this one, Liz, to look out for. Federico Morlacchi, the joint world champion with his teammate, goes in this one. Andrei Kalina won the silver medal last night in the 200 individual medley. Great swim that he had yesterday as well, Andrei Kalina. So we know that he's on form. Andrei Skaliuk from Russia, former world champion back in 2015, the Russian. So excellent field here. Todt, Garrido, Brun, Kalina, Morlacki, Skaliuk, Cooley, Denis Tarasov, and Sam Devisser. Interesting to see Denis Tarasov as well. The Russian swimmer was very successful in the S8 class over the years, moved up to an S9 now. Still very competitive, Denis Tarasov.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he goes here in this heat number 2. And then we can see it getting away well. It was Skaliuk in lane 5, but coming up at the top is Andrei Kalina. We know he's got those strong legs, and he used that underwater phase. But Federico Malacchi has a lower leg impairment, so slower off the block, but he has a great swim speed. And at the moment, these athletes all pretty much in a line. And we come in, and the touch at the goes to fast starting Skaliuk, 28.39, just 0.15 ahead of his teammate Denis Tarasov down in lane 7. But now Federico Malacchi in that centre lane for Italy looks to be making, or trying to make, his move in the closing 15 metres of this race.
Yeah, Morlacchi coming through. It's going to be very, very close. World champion, world record holder, of course, Federico Morlacchi. And he's just going to get the touch there in 101.71. Tarasov, good swim from him in second. And Cooley in third for Italy. Skaliuk just faded in the closing stages to 102.65. But it was a very, very tight heat there. But showing his strength at the end was Federico Morlacchi. And he needed to, Liz. That was very tight indeed.
Yeah, and Morlacchi has got a best time. He's a European record holder, 58.91. But we talk about all the time different athletes at different stages of their career having to just use different tactics. And Morlacchi will know he's going to be in a race this evening, so he would want to do just enough to get a good position in that final, but not use up so much of his energy that he can't go quicker this evening. And he absolutely timed it to perfection in terms of the finish, didn't he?
He did indeed. Great swim there from Morlacchi to take that one. Sets up another interesting final. Morlacchi in 101.71, Tarasov 102.19, and Simone Cooley in third place. Alexander Skaliuk might just make it into the final there, but Kalina might be the man to miss out. Simone Barlam will lead the field. Jose Antonio Maria Alcaraz in second and Morlacchi in third. So Simone Barlam will have the two experienced men on either side, and setting up such a good final there. Jahor Schalkener looked good in those heats as well, Liz. So yeah, could be an excellent final tonight. Promises to be very close.
Very close and very fast, I would say.
Well, the women's 100 butterfly taking the start now. Again, just one heat for this one. They have to lose just one swimmer, I think. Rosetinova from Russia goes in lane 0. Lena Vats, Sweden in 1. Yulia Gordachuk from Israel in lane 2. Nura Marquez Soto in 3. Sofia Konkley in 4, fresh from her win last night. Sarah Gascon in 5. Victoria Shalova from Russia in 6. Katerina Denisenko in 7 from Ukraine. And Mahe Zudair Barreto in lane number 8 for Spain. Again, a combined event, this one. We have some S8 swimmers swimming up against the S9s. As I said, just one swimmer to lose. It's a combined event. So one set of medals will be awarded. We've got the return of the champion from last night in the 200 metres individual medley there. Sophia Conkley swam an excellent 200 IM.
Yeah, Sophia Conkley had a great butterfly leg. Well, she had a great all four legs of the 200 metre medley, but her butterfly was particularly strong and she looked to make a move. Actually, there's no Lena Watts of Sweden in lane one, so providing all of these athletes can get through unscathed without any disqualifications, all 8 athletes can progress to tonight's final. Conkley there turning first, 32.33. Sarai Gascon exactly a second behind, and her Spanish compatriot Noraya Marcos Soto in lane 3 at 3rd position at the moment. But Sophia Conkley looking like she picked up where she left off last night. She's looking like extremely strong on this butterfly, breathing to the side, breathing to the right there to balance out that stroke and that limb difference that she lives with. And as she comes into the final 5 metres, she's not messing around this morning, is she, Paul? As she comes in to take the touch in 107.95. That is the fastest time. She's been 107.33, so she's bang on her best time of the year, which is great heat swimming.
Yeah, excellent swim again for Sophia Conkley from Hungary. And another impressive swim from the Hungarians, and she is having a good couple of days, isn't she? And a smile on her face there for Sophia Conkley. Sarai Gascon, who has really dominated this event at the European Championship. She won the last 4 championships, Sarai Gascon. To be trying to make it 5 in a row, which would be an incredible achievement for Sarai Gascon, but she's going to have her work cut out tonight because Sophia Conkley is looking in great form here, the Hungarian.
Yeah, this is going to be a great race.
Gascon.
It'll be a great race tonight, I think. And like Sarai Gascon, she can rise to the challenge, but Sophia Conkley is an example of one of those athletes she's come into this meet in superb form. And like we've said, everyone's been training behind closed doors. Nobody really knows how it's been going, and it's great to get the proof in the pudding, so to speak, for Conkley.
Yeah, 107.95, Sarai Gascon in second, Noraya Marcos Soto in third there. So Sophia Conkley will be in the middle of the 2 Spanish swimmers, as she was last night in the individual medley. As you said, Liz, Lena Watts didn't start the race, so the top 8 swimmers that achieved those times in that heat will progress to that final. Just wait for confirmation of those finalists. We move on to the next event, which will be the men's 100 breaststroke for the SB11 class. Not sure what the delay is, Liz.
Nope, not me, and I can't do my usual trick. I can't do my usual trick where I stand up and have a look at the pool. Sorry, Paul.
Look over the balcony. What's going on? Yeah, we're missing our interactions with the swimmers and with the officials and the team coaches and everything. We sniff
and
out
each
the
other.
concept, don't we? Yeah, it's exactly. Now we have 7 swimmers there confirmed as finalists. Conkley, Gascon, Marcos Soto, the main contenders, confirmed they are through to the final. We can now go on to the next event, men's 100 breaststroke SB11. We like the SB11 events, don't we, Liz? The swimmers with no vision at all. They'll be wearing blacked out goggles.
You really see
racing.
You really see racing at its max, don't you? Like, because they are not able to look across to their competitors and see what's going on. So it is the edge of what's humanly possible in this classification, which is what I enjoy.
Yeah, we've got 10 swimmers in this one as well. There's the line-up again, just to lose 2 swimmers to go through to the final. Mika Tavauri from Georgia, Miroslav Drag from Poland, Czech Republic's Miroslav Šmirka, Serbian and Smirnov. There's Smirnov, winner last night. Viktor Smirnov in the butterfly. Serbian has had a good couple of days as well. The 17-year-old. Matakas is next to him, the Lithuanian champion in the 50 freestyle. Swam an incredible 50 freestyle on the first night of competition. Johannes Weinberg from Germany goes in 6. Alexander Artukov from Ukraine in 7. Marco Meneses, the local favourite from Portugal, in 8. David Krotochvil from Czech Republic in 9. The 13-year-old closest to us down in lane number 9. Again, a bit of an issue with the start. We saw this, I think, the first couple of days, the S11 swimmers. A little bit of delays from the start, long holds on the start of the S11 race. There's the 13-year-old, Krotochvil. Start, very important for these swimmers, isn't it, Les?
Yeah, these athletes will look to get up, and you can see find the lane rope as quickly as possible. And the challenge on breaststroke, as any swimmer who's ever swum breaststroke in training will know, is that you don't want to find the lane rope as the same lane rope as the person next to you, because if you get kicked by a big breaststroke kick, it's really painful. But also for these SB11 athletes, if they catch their foot in the lane rope, that is really painful too. And we can see here from that shot the spearhead forming, which is what I said about the SB11 athletes. They really do swim on the edge of what is possible. And Viktor Smirnov turning first in 36.8 seconds. He is just over half a second ahead of the 50-meter freestyle champion from earlier in the week, Edgaras Matkas of Lithuania. And now we can see the Lithuanian had a brilliant turn, and he has taken the lead.
He has indeed. He's doing a remarkable job staying down the centre of that lane. As we said, we normally see the S11 swimmers just hug the lane rope, but Matakas has been right down the centre of the lane on that first length, right down the centre of the lane on the second length. Incredible swimming from Matakas, the champion in 50 freestyle, gets the tapper, gets in first for this 100 metres breaststroke. Smirnov in second position, and Serbian, the double bronze medalist already this week, gets in third. But an excellent swim, an excellent display of breaststroke swimming there from Edgaras Matakas.
Yeah, and it's a great example. As we said, we've talked about it in other classification groups, where you'll see somebody who maybe has a similar impairment to you, and you'll try a similar technique, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's the best way to learn, because you can't follow a textbook stroke. But obviously these SB11 athletes, they can perform a textbook stroke, and actually they can't see what their competitors do. So this is an example of maybe where Matakas, different people process information differently, and if Matakas has asked someone like what breaststroke's supposed to look like, how it's supposed to feel, what the science is behind it, and he's implemented his own strategy, then that will be why he's able to swim down that centre of the lane, whereas a lot of the older athletes all employ the same technique of finding that lane rope.
Yeah, well, it's certainly stood him in good stead there. Matakas, he takes that one, 118.65. Viktor Smirnov in second position, 119.60. Smirnov, the reigning champion from Dublin in 2018. And Serbian in third place, the young 17-year-old. He's another emerging talent there coming through in this class, the SB11 class, Liz.
Yeah, and we see it regularly, and it's great to see some of these teenagers, and they just go from strength to strength, don't they? And again, it's all to play for. There's not a lot in it, in that at the top there you can see, because as we've said, in the S11 events, anything can happen. So you can never really read it too much into like the difference separating athletes going into a final.
Yeah, quite often with the the S11 classes, you'll see one of the swimmers maybe hit the lane ropes, trying to correct their position in the lanes, going across the lane. You're kind of weaving kind of down the pool, swimming with that extra distance, isn't it?
Yeah, and we've seen it in the past as well, where they've caught another athlete and they thought it was their tapper and they've turned too early. So there's a lot that can challenge these S11 athletes. But now they're on to the fast 100 freestyles of the S13 men.
Yeah, we have two Spanish swimmers in this first heat of the two heats. Juan Ferron Gutierrez in 2. Thalasso Engel, champion in the 100 breaststroke last night, from Germany in 3. Kirill Garashenko, he'll be one of the favourites. Ukrainian goes in lane 4. Salguero Ortiza from Spain in lane 5. Maxim Nikiforov, breaststroke medalist yesterday, he goes in lane number 6. Garashenko,
Well, the best reaction,
pretty much the favourite.
Oh yeah, I was just going to say the best reaction actually came from Thalasso Engel, fresh off his breaststroke victory. But now that they are up and into their strokes, it is pre-race favourite in terms of this heat. Garashenko, that goes over first at the 50-metre mark, 26.01 for him. Salguero Ortiza of Spain, 26.61, going very well here. But it is Garashenko now who's opened up a body length lead in that third 25 metres.
Yeah, really powerful there for Garashenko. He just came off that turn. He's coming in now in a good time, 53.34 for Garashenko. That's the fastest time he's been this year. Takes that top spot in that first heat. It's Salguero Ortiza in second place and Thalasso Engel in third. Just 4/100ths of a second separating the second and third swimmers. Should see them safely into that final, but we will have to wait for the second heat, of course. 6 swimmers taking part in that second heat. Some big names to come. But Garashenko, yeah, very powerful, Liz, there in that. Just when he came off the turn, just seemed to put on the power.
Yeah, we talk about it a lot, like easy, the concept of easy speed down the first 50 metres in swimming. And he did, he just carried himself out with Salguero Ortiza. But then on that second 50, it was like he found another gear and he just powered away from the rest of the field. And he looked pretty happy with it at the end, sticking his tongue out at us. I won't take it personally, but great heat swim from him.
Yeah, 53.34 for Garashenko. And Salguero Ortiza, Thalasso Engel, and Juan Ferron Gutierrez and Nikiforov will have a nervous wait for this next one. We'd think the top 3 might be safe, but you never know. As the next heat sees the world record holder Ihar Boki was beaten yesterday in the breaststroke, but he has dominated this 100 freestyle event for a number of years. Twice a Paralympic champion in this one. 3 times a European champion. He won the title in 2014, 2016 and 2018. And that Dublin European Championships is where he set the world record. And we know he's been on great form. Saw him set the record in the 100 butterfly. So I wonder what he can do in this 100 freestyle. We've got Galakov from Kazakhstan, Redzelski from Poland, Ihar Boki, Oleksiy Verchenko in lane 5, Adrian Jastrzewski from Poland in lane 6, and Shona Reardon from Ireland closest to us in lane number 7.
Ihar Boki in world record breaking form, and when it's your world record, all you have to do is a personal best time. I say all you have to do, but here we can see he's just so powerful off the start. Within the first 25 metres, he's already half a body length up on Verchenko, 1 lane closest to her for Ukraine, and as Boki goes over in 24.67. Verchenko second, and Zelensky is currently in third position.
Yeah, Boki just about half a second outside his own world record pace there. World record was set off a time of 24.29, so not too far away from that. And it looks really powerful again, ER Boki. Keep an eye on this clock, it's not going to be far outside the world record time. 51.09. Wow, another great time for ER Boki. Just 0.4 of a second outside his own world record. And wow, what a man on form, ER Boki. 51.09, Liz, that was impressive.
And again, he looked so comfortable. We say this a lot about Hiroboki. You can't really tell just by looking at him, like in an isolated format, whether he's in training, whether he's going flat out in a race, or because he's got such good technique and just he gets so much distance per stroke. And we saw he had a really good start, but also off of the turn, he just gets. Makes it look effortless, but it also means that by getting that advantage through your race skills, then you've got more energy left to swim, and there's clear water between him and Burchenko there as they came into that finish.
Yeah, there was indeed. No wonder, that is a great time for ER Boki, 51.09. Alexei Burchenko in second, 54.30, and Retstelski from Poland should see him through to the final. We'll just wait for confirmation of those finalists. We know who's going to be top. That's going to be ER Boki. Krilo Garashenko in second, I think, and Burchenko in third. Two Ukrainians will be behind the great Belarusian. Could we be on for something spectacular again tonight? We've seen ER Boki set a world record already this week. As you said, Liz, in the London World Championships, he was just off his world record pace, but it looks like this time he's bang on his best times.
Yeah, he was swimming really well at the World Championships in London, but he just kept missing that dipping under the best time and therefore the world record. And I think he got a bit frustrated, but you know, now we're 18 months down the line, he's got more training behind him, and it really seems to be clicking for him at this competition.
Well, the women are coming out now for the 100 freestyle S13. Just one heat for this one again. Only got to lose one swimmer. 9 swimmers taking the start. And there's the lineup. Alexandra Sabatiletsva from Russia, Abby Kane from Great Britain, Joanna Mendek from Poland, Anna Krivshina from Russia, Carlotta Gili, world record holder. Carlotta Gili, she goes in lane number 4. Anna Stetsenko in lane number 5. 2 Spanish swimmers in 6 and 7. Marian Lopez, Polo Lopez and Adrian Eldro Beltran. And the young Irish swimmer, 16-year-old, youngest in the field. Oisin Nirian goes in lane number 8, making a debut here in Madeira this week. But a good start there. Carlotta Gili in lane number 4, the world record holder, out to a good start here in this first half length of this 100 freestyle.
Carlotta Gili looking really strong as we come into the first 50 metre. 28.84, sorry, and Stestenko of Ukraine, the Paralympic champion, having a good closing stages for that first length. Just pip Krivshina of Russia at the turn, but it is Carlotta Gili who's looking very, very strong here, looking comfortable. Considerably slower stroke rate than Anna Stestenko, who's doing everything she can to get back on terms with the Italian world record holder as we come into the final 5 metres.
Yeah, the experienced trio at the head of the field. Carlotta Gili taking that one. Stetsenko in second and Krivshina in third. Carlotta Gili looking smooth again. 1 minute point 33, so not a bad heat swim at all for Carlotta Gili. Again, difficult to tell, Liz, because the swimmers knew that they only had to drop one swimmers, and the 3 in front, certainly the class of the field, knew they didn't have to try too hard to make that final.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we say it with the visually impaired athletes, they can't rely on taking a look around and seeing how the rest of the field is getting on. So they do have more of an internal clock pace clock that they get very good at judging exactly how quickly they are swimming, which I guess is one advantage. We all say that our differences give us advantages, and that is one for the visually impaired athletes, because they can't risk thinking they're in a position but they're missing someone just out of their field of vision. So 3 very comfortable swims for the ladies at the front end of that heat, and I'm sure that they'll all be looking to go quicker in the final this evening.
Yeah, Julie Stitsenko and Krivshina, the top 3 places there. Roisin Marianne for Ireland, the youngster, just getting in for 4th position. And those top 8 look like they will. Joanna Mendak from Poland, and Zavrita Litzva from Russia will complete the lineup for that final. Carlota Gili, though, probably start as favourite, but Anna Stitsenko and Anna Krivshina, she will be in the mix as well. So the next event, Liz.
Yep, final event, isn't it, Paul, of this morning?
It is indeed. Just checking my schedule there. 100 butterfly, S8. Again, some familiar names we're going to see in this one. It's been a longer heat session this morning. It seemed to have gone in pretty quickly, though. Some good swims for us to enjoy.
Yeah, they've been quite busy heats as well, I think, haven't they? So a lot of action. So it does make you trudge through the exciting racing more quickly then, I think. And here, this promises to be just as exciting. Few unknowns, few very established athletes go in this one. So exciting, and again, a number of athletes. So people in the first heat cannot afford to hang around.
There is the entries for that first heat. The Friba, Diogo Cancella, Alberto Amadeo, Denis Dubrov, Andreas Onea, and Nermin Memic. And there's Amadeo making his debut here, of course, at these European Championships and a major championship. He started off well. There's Denis Dubrov, the figure of Denis Dubrov, who's dominant in the S10 class over the past few years, but as you said, Liz, Denis Dubrov dropped down to the S8 class following an accident that he had.
Yeah, so he missed the London World Championships in 2019 because he was recovering from a car accident, and as we can see, the way that it's impacted him is it means he no longer has use of that right arm. So he's dropped down 2 categories, but he's also as if he's learning to swim all over again, because you've got very different techniques. So his history in the S10 category, it stands him in good stead, but he's having to learn to do things completely differently with new techniques. And we can see going well there, just 0.4 of a second behind Alberto Amadeo of Italy at the turn. But we can see like he's got a very different stroke, very balanced, he's doing very well. You see a number of athletes with one that swim butterfly with one breathing to the side, but Dubrov still breathing forward at this stage, and Alberto Amadeo breathing actually to the side under his left arm. Close race as they come into the final 5 meters.
Yeah, there he is. Denis Dubrov, the Paralympic champion, of course, in butterfly for Ukraine in the S10 class. He's just pipped by Alberto Amadeo, though, 105.45 for the newcomer from the Italian team. First time we've seen him, as I said. That is an excellent swim, and that will we won a medal on day 1 of the competition in the 400 freestyle, silver medal. So a real find for the Italians again. Denis Dubrov did a great job there to finish 2nd, and in 3rd spot's Diogo Cancella just getting in for 3rd ahead of Andreas Oney from Austria. But the Italians have unearthed another good swimmer, Liz.
Yeah, we just keep seeing it from the Italians, don't we? Like different. They have range now across the classification groups, across the strokes, and Alberto Amadeo, he wants to be part of the medal winning party that the Italians are having.
Yeah, great job there for Amadeo to take that one. Good swim from Denis Dubrov as well, 105.53 for Dubrov. Hugo Cancella in third position. Might be enough for him to make the heats. But we have 6 swimmers in this second heat to come. And some strong names in this one. Another 2 Spanish swimmers in this final heat. They come out the final heat of the morning session. Swimmers already behind the blocks. And the 2 Spanish swimmers will go in lanes 2 and 3. Carlos Martinez Fernandez, Sergio Salvador Martos Minguet. There is Mythos Michelinzakis, world and European champion from Greece. Mikhail Golas from Poland. Charles Zolik, the former Paralympic champion from 2012 in London, former European champion as well, 3 times over. The Frenchman, 9-6, and Islam Doku. There's Golas. Second heat, absolutely stacked, Liz.
Yeah, there is talent all over the pool and pedigree in this event all over the pool. We can see the single arm butterfly technique in lanes 3, 4, 5 and 6. Lane 2 as well. So this is very much a head-to-head in terms of who's like similar techniques. You can just see there down in lane 7, Islam Tokayev of Belgium using 2 arms. But everyone else got that single arm butterfly technique, and it is Michel Golas that takes it at the turn, 30.16 ahead of the world champion Michelinzakis by 0.36 of a second. Going very well, Michel Golas down that first 50 metres, but butterfly so often the victories come through in that final stage of the race. Charles Razoy also going very well there in that white cap of France, and now it does look like lane 4's Michelinzakis of Greece has come to the front of the pack.
Yeah, good second half of this race for Michelinzakis from Greece. He'll take that one in 105.93. That is a comfortable swim for him. He will be challenging the 1 minute mark you would expect normally. So 105.93, well, that is a great swim. Very comfortable for him. Michel Golas, he held on for second position there. Looks like Martos Minguet in third spot and Charles Zoy in fourth. That should be comfortable enough for them to make the final. There is Michelinzakis. He's really begun to dominate this butterfly event, hasn't he, Liz, over recent years?
Yeah, he has. He's the European champion. He's the world champion. So in this S8 category now, and again, like I said, there's a very similar impairments, but very, very different techniques and very different strategies. And Michelinzakis, he won't have it all his own way. It's getting very crowded in that 105 grouping at the top of these world rankings. But again, that just makes for a very, very exciting final, assuming all athletes are confirmed as proceeding.
We'll just wait for the official results. Seems to be a little bit of a delay for that one, but here we go. Michelinzakis taking it. Michel Golas in second place, ahead of Martos Minguet. Charles Razoy in fourth position in that heat. See who progresses to that final. Michelinzakis, Alberto Amadeo, Denis Dubrov, all in the 105 range in those qualification heats. So it could be another cracking final, Liz. Got a lot to look forward to tonight.
Yes, we have. We've been set up for some very exciting races. Hopefully that one gets confirmed as another to look forward to. That will help us towards the end of the programme. We've got another relay tonight as well. Relays are always exciting.
Yeah, we do love a relay. It was a very close relay last night, so we've got some relay swims to look forward to tonight. So it should be an excellent night's finals again. I'm sure we are going to get that confirmed result for that. We have got confirmation of that last result, so here we go. Alberto Amadeo will progress to the final in first position ahead of Denis Dubrov and Timosenis Michelinzakis, with Mikhail Golas not too far behind as well. Again, another final to look forward to. We have a number of finals tonight, 24 in all, so we'll crown 24 new European champions tonight here in Funchal. So that's it from Liz and I for this morning's heat sessions. We hope you can join us again tonight at 17:30 local time in Madeira. So don't miss it. It is going to be a cracking final session for day 3 of this World Paraswimming European Open Championships from Madeira. So it's goodbye from now, and we will see you later tonight, 17:30 local time. Don't miss it.